on to you Libras out there? How y'all doing? So you have the Ace of Ariel, the Sun card, and you Libras also have the Chariot. So a lot of you Libras, very much so, y'all are pretty much standing on business. Y'all are doing the things that y'all said to yourselves that y'all were essentially going to do. You have your own plan, your own agenda, and you Libras are most definitely enacting your plan and your agenda, right? What it is that you Libras set out to accomplish, you're actually getting it done. You really meant it. Yeah, and the Sun card, the Chariot, you're not going to let pretty much anything or anyone really get in your way, because you understand that if you do, all that's really going to do is set you back, you know, and then you're going to be mad because of the fact that you're going to be upset at the fact that you allowed somebody to set you back, and you're going and you know, you Libras are not going to like that. But luckily for you Libras, a lot of you Libras are actually standing on business. That's the point that I'm making. And you're getting done the things that you Libras wanting to get done, you know, like your opposite sign in Aries. Y'all are getting it, y'all are getting it cracking when it comes to, you know, business as well. You know, you Libras and you Aries, right? So the whole Libra and Aries axis is getting it done, getting the work done, staying focused, handling your business. I know I talk to a lot of you Libras off camera. Or I should say I'm starting to talk to you Libras off camera more, because y'all are coming through and getting readings, and yeah, y'all are handling your business behind the scenes. You know, a little issues, a little couple of issues when it comes to love and stuff like this that y'all are telling me about that I'm listening to. But when it comes to business, y'all really getting it, handling. From what I'm hearing from a lot of you Libras, it's more so in the context of like you dealing with a lot of treacherous significant others, a lot of people that, you know, they get with you and then they want you to be paying all the bills. What do you get for paying all the bills? You get betrayed. And this is what I'm talking about. You never do all the work, because the person doesn't, if the person wants you to do all the work, that person has no skin in the game. They are not contributing anything. So that's an indication that they don't care, right? And furthermore, if a person even will allow you to really do the work and they're happy and content watching you do it, and they don't feel any kind of way about you doing the work, saying, oh no, I'm gonna get into it. That person playing a game with you. Let's get into it, because the Queen of Michael and the Ten of Ariel, right? Because now these two cards is about you're just glad that you didn't waste your time chasing up behind relationships, because a lot of you Libras understand that, you know, these modern day relationships, a lot of them are garbage. You know, a lot of them are basura, you know, they're garbage. And so why would you put so much effort into these relationships? That's my point, right? Because the Queen of Swords is the Queen of Michael, which is like the Queen of Swords, is basically, you know, you being upset to actually finally do something about it. Like you got so upset of how these relationships ended up and how they turned, to the point where, again, the Ten of Ariel, like, nah. Once you started doing what it is that you needed to do, and you started to see results because you're paying attention to yourself and you're looking at yourself, and it begins and ends with you, you Libras got accustomed to that, you know, and this is recent. You Libras got accustomed to this. So now you Libras are like, relationship? I don't really think so. And that's what I'm talking about. Because relationships, it takes two. I've been saying this thing since 2021. It takes two, right? But you know, this is why I don't take, I'm gonna be honest, I don't take seriously providers, because all I keep hearing about, literally, right? And as a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna start posting up like start putting up video links in the comment section to show you what it is I'm talking about. All I keep hearing, my dear Libras, is how a person did the work and they getting played. I was literally talking to one of my friends, or I ain't gonna say one of my friends, but one of my acquaintances. Like friends, it's too strong. But one of my acquaintances on TikTok. And she was telling me how she was dating this chick. You know, she lives an alternative lifestyle. Like I said, I don't care about what background you come from, as long as you're a decent person. I don't trip on that. But she was dating some chick, and she was saying how it is that, come to find out, she was the one paying all the bills, but her and her girlfriend ended up breaking up because she found out that her girlfriend was cheating on her. And I was like, this is what I be trying to tell y'all with the non 50-50 relationships. They are set traps. It's a setup. Those people are running a psyop on you. They're trying to see, my dear Libras, if you'll actually be stupid enough to pay all the bills and do everything, while they lay on their back or their side and do nothing. Once you agree to that, they know they got you. Because because when you actually pay attention to it, they're not doing anything. So I'm asking her, okay, asking her for some more details. She's willing to actually tell me, right? So she's saying how, because I've known her for some months, but she's willing to actually tell me, and she's telling me about how she didn't get anything. She's been doing everything the whole time. She doesn't even get gifts. She never even got gifts. You know? And meanwhile, the person who her ex-girlfriend was cheating with, granted, she only bought her like 2 hats, right? Bought her like 2 baseball caps and all of that stuff. So, you know, it's nothing really too big even there. But it was the principle of the fact that how, even if it's really like, you know, what she actually bought was insignificant. Like I said before, it's the thought that counts. So like the fact that like real talk, the fact that you actually went out and you buying the person whom you kicking it with behind the back of the person who you're supposed to be in a relationship with, gifts and all of that. You see what I'm saying? That's why it is that it be so stupid, because, and this is why it is I try to tell, I tell all the zodiac signs here, do not be on these relationships where you doing everything. You need to, no matter who you are, you need to look at the other person like, you better be doing something. Nah, I'm not asking you. Because if they come with the mental gymnastics for you, Libras, you Libras supposed to look at them like they crazy. You supposed to look at them like, you better be doing something. You better stop playing. You better contribute to this relationship, because I'm gonna look at you like you stupid. Because, like I said before, because it's a psyop. They're trying to see if you're gonna agree to this bad deal, and if you do, they go, oh, okay, well then I'll use you, I'll play you, because that's literally the play. That is literally the set trap. It's literally a bear trap. It's literally a bear trap. They're leaving the bait out there for you, right? Because what's the elephant in the room? The elephant in the room is, I want you to pay all the bills. But what's the subtext, my dear Libras? What's not being said? If you don't agree to this, then there's a chance that I'll say no and I won't be in a relationship with you. So, compared to what? Them using you, Libras, and then doing everything for somebody else, And then the next thing you know, they're like, bah humbug. I don't really care about you Libras. I'm going to go talk to somebody else. While you were the ones that was doing all the work. Nah, nah, nah. That's whack. Hey, that's whack. That's whack. I ain't even gonna lie, that's whack. So the leap of faith, the six of Gabriel, and the Empress right here for you Libras. Again, it speaks to how like you Libras are just on pure smoke. Empress, pure, which is Libra, pure smoke. And what I mean when I say pure smoke, I mean like you Libras are not having it. A person better contribute. If they even come to you with the mental gymnastics, them plotting and trying to come up with excuses and ways to get you to agree to a raw deal, you Libras are going to look at it like that's a dub. Because what's up even with the mental gymnastics? What's up with the, well, XYZ, they should, if they really looking to be in a relationship with you, they need that. There's no exception. They need to be contributing actively. They need to be actively contributing. They need to be thinking about what they are going to contribute. They need to contribute value. How they gonna be in a functional and this is what I've been saying. How they gonna be in functional relationships and they not contributing? And all the stuff that I've been saying for years is the truth. Because I know what a relationship looks like. You know what I'm saying? I know what a relationship looks like. I have healthy women around me in the form of my sister and my mom and all of that. You feel me? I have healthy women around me, like I said, in the form of my sister or my mom. I have that. You feel me? They don't complain and talk about the guys in the family got to contribute. And the guys don't look at the women in the family and be like, oh, y'all are the only ones that got to contribute while we do our thing. No, everybody contributes. And everybody in the family has mutual respect for one another because everybody contribute. I contribute. Pay the bills, buy cat and dog food, buy my mom hair sometimes when she wants to get her hair did, got her an iPad. Meanwhile, this is when I had anger issues, broke the TV, broke her iPhone. I said, because of the fact that I did that, this was years ago. Because of the fact that I did that, I say, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and buy the iPhone and buy a TV back. Went ahead, did that, got her right. This is immediately afterwards. Then years later, right, 2 or 3 years later, for Mother's Day, got my mom some roses, freshly cut roses, because they grown out of the floor free, but freshly cut roses for free. Real jewelry, got her some earrings, got my sister something, did something for my, gave something to my sister for her, not recently, but for her birthday a couple of years ago, right? Because I don't have the bread to always do it. But that's my point. You feel what I'm saying? Contribute, figure ways out to contribute. So what does this have to do with you? This has everything to do with you because you Libras, you have the mentality that a person needs to contribute, and that if they're not going to contribute, they cannot be around you. It is a prerequisite that they have to come into a relationship with you with the mentality that they are going to contribute. Otherwise, it's automatically a dub. No matter what they say, no matter what kind of mental gymnastics they come with. And then when I mean real quick, when I say the mental gymnastics, I'm talking about the fact that like the excuses, the rhetorical scenarios, like the rhetorical scenarios, you hear it all the time. How it is that you hear it on these podcasts about how these podcast hosts was talking about contributing. and how the other person is always trying to play devil's advocate. But what about this? No, you either going to contribute or you're going to leave me alone. No exceptions. If you're not going to contribute, if you're not actively looking to contribute, get out of here. you know what I'm, you know what I mean? Because the thing is that the Five of Ariel and the Epiphany, look at what happens. And you Libras know it. What's happening? All they're doing is taking from your table. Literally, that's what they're doing. Because again, you're the ones that have to pay for everything. They want all of this stuff. Stuff. They want all of this stuff. They want all of these different things. But yet and still, you're the one that's contributing. You're paying all the bills. You're taking all the trips. You paying for everything. And what are they actually doing? Living on your dime and your time for free. And they're not contributing anything. While they have an attitude, they're giving you all this pushback. And it's like, listen. If you Libras are paying for everything, doing the emotional work, keeping the relationship together, doing all the housework, paying for everything, you're the boss. Whatever you say goes. This person they literally can't afford to be giving you pushback because they can't afford to pay for anything else because they're living on your dime and your time anyway. You see, this is, like I said before, this is why I be so bored. Let's clarify the Epiphany. This is why I be so bored with these glamorized hyena modern day relationships, because it be the cap for me. It's lame. A lot of this stuff is sensationalism to go viral, but it's just ultimately it's distasteful. Why do I want to listen to some goofy goober get up on the internet and show their face and say it with their whole chest and make themselves sound mentally ill, talking about how it is that they're not going to contribute to in a relationship, and they legitimate and they showing their face. We know what they look like, we know what they sound like, and you don't think that that's not good. You don't think that that's going to ruin your relationships, your future potential relationships. You ruin your love life. You can expect to not get a good love life after you got up on that podcast and say that, because everybody gonna see your face, especially if it's popular. People gonna see your face. People gonna see your face. So let's clarify the Epiphany. And to clarify it, you have the Page of Wands, Three of Wands, King of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and then you have the Page of Swords to clarify the Epiphany, right? So you Libras understand what time it is, right? Person has to contribute. Yes. The last person that I was hanging out with, she doesn't know this because we never got that far, right? Because we only kicked it one time. But she was giving me a problem at the end of us hanging out or whatnot. And I offered to essentially pay for her Uber ride home. I said, look, you spent your money to come to Manhattan, okay? You don't live in Manhattan. You live in another borough, okay? You spent your money to essentially to go from wherever you were to get a cab here. Let me go ahead and pay for an Uber ride home, right? For you. Make sure that you actually, show you that in the spirit of peace and the spirit of love and all of that, right? I'm not up to anything nefarious and foul, giving me a problem. But this is also an individual, right? With respect, this is also an individual that, I would have liked to have dated. I would have liked to, but that's my point though. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's literally my point. Not putting up with the nonsense, because it's like, what you so mad at? What you so, like, real talk, what are you so mad at? Because the reason why I ended up not calling the Uber for her was because she got into an argument with me. She got mad that for some reason that I was gonna call for an Uber and pay for it. But I don't know. She got mad at me for doing that. But you know what I mean? You know, even though I wanted to, you know, and I volunteered to do it. Cause I was originally, I was gonna walk her to the train station. And then I said to myself, I don't really feel like really walking that far. So I said to myself, I said, you know what? I'll go ahead and get her an Uber. I'll get her an Uber. In the spirit of goodness and transparency and good faith, I actually get her an Uber. You know what I mean? Show her that I'm actually taking her seriously. Got upset with me. So that's my point. Like, how you know, this is why it is that you Libras don't take nonsense from other people, because you Libras are too good for that. Especially if you're a decent Libra and you're treating them well and they giving you opposition. It doesn't even make any sense. It's like, go on about your business if you're gonna, you know, if they're gonna be in opposition to you, because it literally makes no sense. But that's it. Other than that, you Libras are doing an amazing job. You Libras just realizing that when you single, you Libras are realizing is this. The majority of these relationships, right, in the modern day era, I'm putting it in context, there is not a lot of value to be gained because a lot of people are just using mental gymnastics to not have to contribute anything real in a relationship. And you Libras see this, and you realize this. So you Libras are just taking care of yourself. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Peace.